We're here today to show you this exciting technology. We call them our thermal johns. They'll be warmer than anything you've ever been able to buy before. And not only that, but they could very well save your life. Now, we've selected a local freezer in a warehouse, as is obvious from the setting. And what we're going to do is ask Kim to come in. We have a couple of helpers today. We're going to outfit Kim in our thermal johns. There's the top, Kim. Here is the bottom. And of course, we're going to need to put just a light shell on top of that. And we have someone else who we're going to outfit. John, why don't you come on in here? Now, this, of course, is the best that money can buy right now. This is fleece. And over here we have the well-known Thinsulate. John, why don't you take that? And let's not forget the Gore-Tex. Gore-Tex is one that is very popular right now. We're going to outfit John in this. We'll put Kim in the thermal johns. And we'll have a little surprise for you here in just a minute. We're going to show you what we're going to do. We need to get some dry weights. And we're going to do that right now. We've asked Brian to be our official observer today. Now, these are the thermal johns. Brian, why don't you get us a weight on those? The scales, by the way, are accurate to 0.2 of an ounce.
3 pounds, 2 ounces.
3 pounds, 2 ounces. Kim, why don't you come on in and get your thermal johns here? And Brian, why don't we get a weight? Now, this is the Thinsulate, the Gore-Tex, and the fleece. We'll get an official weight here.
7 pounds, 0 ounces.
So 7 pounds even. Here you go. Kim, come on back in. Now, what we're going to do is going to be real remarkable, and it's going to be impressive. Kim, go ahead and put your thermal johns in that bucket right there. And we're going to have Brian come back in. Brian, come on in. I don't know if Kim was ready for this. We're going to take this 2 quarts of water. We're going to saturate Kim's thermal johns. Go ahead, Brian. Why don't you get down there and get some water on those thermal johns. Okay, Brian, you got those thermal johns good and wet now?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you bring them on up? Let's see the water there. Okay, they're plenty wet. That's absorbed quite a bit of that. Kim, now why don't you take these? Are you ready to get outfitted in this?
Oh, my goodness.
Take them right over here and we'll get them weighed. We'll get an official weight on them. Brian's going to get a weight for us. Let's see what the differential is. What have you got, Brian?
It's 5 pounds, 12.2 ounces, or 2 pounds, 10 ounces.
So we have 2 pounds, 10 ounces of water in the thermal johns. Kim, are you ready? Let's get you outfitted. Go put those on. We're inside of our commercial freezer now, as you can see. Temperature still well below zero. We've brought into this commercial freezer some exercise equipment to demonstrate a very important principle, and that's the ability of systems to handle moisture. Now, if you remember Kim's system, she's wearing thermal johns. We're totally saturated in water. She just has a shell, just a typical shell on top of it like you'd wear for jogging. John over here, of course, has the military's best, as we described it, the Gore-Tex, the Thinsulate, the fleece. Brian, how long has it been now that they've been exercising? Hour, 20 minutes. Kim, how are you feeling after an hour, 20 minutes?
I'm fine. I have not been cold.
You haven't been cold since you came in wet.
Just my face was a little chilled from the exposure, but it warmed right up as soon as I started moving. So I'm great.
You're doing good. Let's talk with John. John, how are you feeling?
I'm a little chilled. My back is cold, and my feet are starting to get cold too now.
Okay, so you're starting to feel the moisture build up now inside the system.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Now, don't forget, John came in dry. And we'll be back in just a little while to check on him again. We asked Steve Mayer to join us with us in the freezer today. We outfitted Steve a number of weeks ago. Steve, of course, is a world-class paraglider, has the nation's largest paragliding school, Cloud9 Paragliding, also an extreme skier. After we outfitted you, Steve, what was your experience with the thermal johns?
Well, you outfitted me in August, so I was a little skeptical at first, but I took it out on a day where it was above 90 degrees just to see how it would feel. And to my amazement, it really wasn't that hot. I wasn't sweating in the outfit, which was really pleasant. One of the unique things with the sport of paragliding is we often start on the ground, or we always start on the ground, where it's really warm, and we fly up into the clouds where it's always cold. So the first week that I had it, I found a day where the cloud base was 10 degrees above zero, and that's the day that I chose to try it the first time. And was standing on launch where it was 85, 90 degrees, and really wasn't that bad, but I was sweating a little bit, getting some moisture going. And I launched, and I flew in a matter of about 15 minutes up to cloud base where it was below zero. It's about 10 degrees, according to the weather forecasters. And it was great. Didn't have any problems with moisture transfer. I'm used to wearing multiple fleece layers where I'm always venting. I'm flying, trying to stay active flying, and I'm also trying to push the moisture out and unzip things and zip things, which is a pain. And this was wonderful just to be able to wear this light shell over the thermal johns. Got up to cloud base, and I really didn't even think about it. I honestly forgot about it until I was up there for a while, and then realized how I felt really natural. I didn't feel that temperature differential.
And that's one of the things we wanted to demonstrate is with the thermal johns just being worn as the base layer, we could say underwear, you're able to put, as he has on right now, he's just got the thermal johns underneath his flight suit here. Yeah, just right underneath there, and you'll be able to do the same thing for skiing.
Exactly. Yeah, for skiing it's going to be wonderful as well.
Okay, we're back now. Brian just informed me it's been 2 hours and 20 minutes into the test. We've had Kim and John. They've been jogging a little bit, doing some jumping jacks, and staying active as well as working out on the exercise equipment. How are you feeling, Kim?
I feel quite comfortable. I'm really amazed that I came in with wet clothing and I've never been cold.
And you're
I'm-
just fine. You're
I'm
staying
fine,
warm.
yeah.
Good. All right, let's talk to John. John, how are you feeling? Same activity levels, and how are we doing?
Cold. My back and my front are cold. My hands are cold. I have to keep them bunched up, and my toes are cold. And not only if I'm not moving, that's when they get cold.
So if you're not moving, then you're in trouble.
Yes, I am. I'd rather be wearing what she's wearing.
Okay, we're going to come back in just a little while and chat with him further. We're at 4 hours, 45 minutes into the test. It's time to get John out. He's going into hypothermia. We have some problems. I've asked Jim Phillips to evaluate this clothing system. Jim, would you open this up and see what's been happening inside the Gore-Tex and the Thinsulate?
Well, the thing that we always see inside of this, and you can see right here, is the amount of frost that's built up on the inside. And if you can notice the wetting that's occurred on the surface of this inner garment, this insulated garment in here, how wet it is. Take a look at all the frost. Now I'm going to slip these off. We'll get you out of here in just a second so you can see this. But look at the ice on the sleeves, the arms, and then take a look at the ice inside of this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bag this up real quickly and all the rest of these things, and we're going to measure how much is in here. Now we're dropping some frost. So John, why don't you go ahead and get out of here, because you're ready to get out, aren't you?
Oh yes, I am.
John, how are you feeling?
I'm frozen. I'm very cold.
Okay. Go ahead and get out of here, buddy. 4 hours, 45 minutes into the test. We just sent John out. He had been driven into hypothermia, and we're here with Kim. Now, Kim, you came in wet, and you've been working out. You've been doing a little jogging and those types of things, and you've been pretty good all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Phillips, of course, was the developer of this system. Now, Jim, tell us a little bit about what happened here today and why Kim's okay and why John was not.
The real story is not keeping people warm so much as how to keep people dry. If you're in for any extended period of time in the cold, moisture buildup is what will get you into trouble. In fact, if somehow we had closed the doors and these two people had to stay in here, John really probably would not have survived. If he had been in here another several hours, let's say 24 hours, within 24 hours, he probably would have died. Yet Kim, although may have been some discomfort and you get tired of being in here, would get through okay because the moisture's got out, you can stay warm. It's moisture management that is the key, not just about staying warm. Now what we're going to do to finish this off is we're going to take all of her TJs off and what she had on, put those in a plastic bag, and we're going to measure how much moisture is in there. We had a weight at the beginning, now we'll see what's left. It isn't all gone yet. We weren't in here long enough to get it all out, but a big portion of it will be gone. And the message is you keep staying in here, it keeps going away. You'll completely self-dry even at below zero in conditions like this, which to me I think is still amazing, even though I've done this for years.
Kim, you ready to get out of the freezer?
I am.
Okay, let's go get some measurements. We're back where we started at the weighing table, and Brian is going to weigh these for us. Now this is the system that John was in. We're going to get a weight on that and see how much moisture buildup there was in that system. What have we got, Brian?
8 pounds, 2.6 ounces. From the 7 pounds, that'd be 1 pound, 2.6 ounces.
So we picked up 1 pound, 2.6 ounces just of perspiration in that very expensive system that John had on. All right, now let's do the thermal johns.
4 pounds, 11 ounces.
4 pounds 11, that's a loss of?
1 pound, 1 ounce.
So 1 pound, 1 ounce of water was transferred out of this system. Let's go to the bottom line of this thing again. Now, the way John was and where he was at, the stage of hypothermia, he didn't have long before he'd be in serious trouble.
Yeah, he was losing ground and losing ground fast. And once you start that downward plunge, it accelerates, and he would have been in trouble very, very quickly. And again, if he'd had to stay in there, he probably would not have made it. I mean, you have to get to where you rescue him. He was slipping into some serious hypothermia. And that was all partially just because of that moisture buildup in the clothing. Because as the moisture builds up, the heat is going to escape very rapidly. You've got to stay dry. That's the magic of the TJs.